On, everybody? The NFLPA report cards just got leaked last night or yesterday, and we got some interesting stuff there. And I think we have some answers as to why the 49ers are always injured all the time. We'll get into it. Let's dive into it, baby. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the First and 49ers podcast. I'm your host, Cole McMahon, joined by 49er Media. Media, how you doing tonight? Thanks for joining tonight.
Doing well, man. Off season's pretty slow, but yeah, I mean it's been NFL Combine week, so that's been fun. We're right around the corner though till, it gets busy again, so that's at least nice.
Yeah. Combine in full swing this week. And before we get into what we want to talk about with the NFL report cards and everything, we got some news today, NFL wide and 49ers wide. Share my screen right here. First bit of news of the day, 49er Media broke it for us. If you could see it there. The NFL informed teams today that the 2026 salary cap has increased to $301.2 million, up $22 million from last year, per my sports update. That's big news. It obviously it affects every team in the league. So we got some more money to spend, and more money is always good news.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Niners are sitting at about, I think it was like 44 million. Let me see. The Niners are 38.76 million roughly.
Okay. So
So I
38
think they're
right
definitely gonna
now.
have to do some restructuring of the contracts here and now. Who do they do now? Another guy, which I know we're gonna get into him pretty soon, but Trent Williams, right? Like them kind of changing up his money because obviously he wants more guarantees now.
Mhm.
That should open up probably some space as well.
And then you can't forget about Brandon Ayuk. Once the Niners
Yep.
cut him, they should get an extra, I think, $25 million, something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
depends what they do with the if it's likely probably giving him the post June 1st designation. But yeah, that should also clear up some space. But yeah, I'm not sure if they'll restructure kind of the three guys they extended last season quite yet, because I think their cap and hits aren't super
Yeah, I
big.
wouldn't
And
think
I'm
it'll be a year
talking about,
out.
Fred Warner, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy.
Right. Our second set of news today, which is 49ers based, is Chase Lucas, who is I think, restricted free agent. He's expected to draw interest from teams if the Niners don't tender Lucas, per Mike Garafolo. I like Chase Lucas this year. Going into the season, I actually thought he was going to be a starting nickel cornerback.
Mm,
I was definitely wrong about that. Just seeing him, the impact he had during during the preseason, I thought I was going to be a
yeah.
huge dog, and he was an impact for sure, for the 49ers and special teams. But I like the 49ers to sign Chase Lucas. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I know Mike Garofalo says like other teams of interest, and because he's restricted, right? If you guys kind of remember last year, the Niners, I believe, had given um Jordan Mason the tender, but then they were able to trade him, and so I don't know like what the Niners would really get, but heck, if you're able to even get a seventh round pick from if there's really a team out there, like I would do that. But probably the more likely thing is that he's just back with the Niners.
Hmm.
Um, at least as a training camp guy. I mean, he's been with the Niners for a few years now, and I don't think, obviously the nickel spot is pretty much
It's locked.
completely, yeah, locked up with, you know,
Stout.
Upton Stout. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with a guy like Chase Lucas in a few weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win either way. If you get rid of him, then you get one of those picks. I mean, more picks, the better for the 49ers.
I mean, at the end of the day, okay, you probably cut him, like if he doesn't even make the team. So
Right, and it's not gonna impact your team too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I think we should get into the biggest news I think of yesterday, which
Mm,
was the NFL PA report cards. That I was shocked that they came out because I know there was a whole thing that I think the NFL was saying we don't want these to come out anymore because it
mm,
hurts the teams or whatever. But it was big news. I think it got leaked yesterday or whatever. All 32 teams, and for the
yeah.
49ers, when you look at the grades, you're like, okay, overall it's looking pretty good. But the two big grades here is the training room and training staff, and this is where I think
Wow,
people
so
have the answers.
shocking, guys. We're
C
so
minus,
shocked here, man. Like,
C
mind
minus, C
blown.
minus. I think we could debunk the substation theory, and I think we have our answer as to why the 49ers are injured all the time. It's because their training room is rated a C minus by the players, and their training staff is rated a C minus by the players.
Yeah, I mean, we see our problem right there, right? I mean, okay, what's interesting though is if you kind of look at all of the things that have to do with training room and training staff, like the weight room's an A, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then strength coaches. I'm shocked that was an A, honestly.
Right. So like, well, I guess it makes sense. Weight room and strength coaches are A because that's a different part of the body. That's just getting stronger. When it comes to the
Yeah,
training room
that's
and training
true.
staff, that's like getting the bodies prepared for the day and
Mm,
taping the guys up or whatever and rolling them out. So I think
mhm.
it's two different staffs, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Um, but it's still very interesting. I think the Niners have had the same training staff for a while now. Um,
Yeah, they've had this guy
yeah.
from the Jets. There's the neutronist, which that they gave a B plus, which that's interesting.
Let's see the 49ers training staff guys. Quarterbacks, offensive line.
If you go to here, I can even just send the link and you can, because I was looking at it earlier, so I'll put it in private.
Here we go. Strength and conditioning. So our headed strength and conditioning coaches, Jordan New Umsma, assistant strength and conditioning, Chauncey Schism, Gregory Segrove, assistant strength and conditioning coach. So I think a lot of these guys have been here with the Niners for a while, and they don't like to switch things up for whatever reason, even when things
Mm,
apparently don't look like they're working. But I think this is something you have to
yeah.
address when when all the substation theory stuff was all coming out. John Lynch, obviously, Jed York, we're talking about it, saying our players' like health and safety is our number one priority. We're gonna look into the substation theory and figure it out, make sure debunk it or whatever. But are you really solving the issue when it looks like the real issue right here is the training staff? Are you going to actually listen to your players? Are you going to switch things up in
Yeah.
that area and improve that? I'm interested to see if the Niners are actually going to shake things up this offseason and
Mhm.
doing something like that. But Dustin
Yeah.
Perry, this is what Captain Niner said.
I
Dustin
thought
Perry
for
is
some
back.
reason Dustin Perry doesn't show up. I don't know why. Let me see.
He's hidden
Oh no,
because
okay.
the Niners
Yeah.
know. Oh, is he there?
Vice President of Player and Health Performance. This guy's got to go. Yeah, he's been with the Niners for at least 8 seasons as and six of the team's head and strength and conditioning coach. He
Vice
originally joined the
president of getting
49ers
the
as an
Niners
assistant
injured.
strength and conditioning coach and spent 2 seasons, 2017 to 2018, in that role. So yeah. What I've been saying, and I've said this to Captain Niner, I've said this probably on my own show too, is okay, the Niners basically need to clean house when it comes to the strength and conditioning staff. And I hate it, but if you do your that's just like me, you doing one of your sports jobs and you suck at it and then you're not fired for it, but it's like if it's
Right.
something wrong, right? Like you got to change it up. And so the Niners to me need to basically get rid of their whole strength and conditioning staff, bring in one guy who has a totally different philosophy of what they've
Mhm.
been going with, and then have that guy bring in guys that he trusts and
Mhm.
guys that kind of have similar philosophies. Because the problem is with strength and conditioning stuff, it's making sure these guys are healthy. And
Yeah, ready
obviously
to
some
go
of
on the
it could be
field.
bad luck, right? But it's just like I think you need to have that one guy who's like the head of strength and conditioning and
Right, because
have him
obviously
bring in because
you
that
can't blame them for Fred Warner's injury, you can't blame them for,
yeah,
getting rolled up on freak injuries like that, but I feel like the Niners have had a ton of soft tissue injuries. I Your guy, David
exactly.
Cowan is a perfect example. Hamstring, 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 and I'm not even putting it on him right now. I'm gonna blame the training staff for this one. C minus, they're not getting these guys hamstrings ready to go. Uh, I mean, I wanna look at other people's training staff, and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a
God
great
damn,
C
locker
plus
room and
training staff,
F.
but yeah, treatment of families F. Okay, so the Steelers got a really bad one. I know they got an F for the field also, and so they're gonna rip out their whole turf. So the
Oh
Niners, oh,
my
they're
god,
ranked dead last in the overall ranks. The Niners are ranked 14th overall.
yeah.
Training,
Let's look at our divisional rivals.
yeah. Okay, so we got the Seahawks here. Home game field an F. That's actually surprising. But look at this: training room and training staff A minus. Right, nutrition A.
Relatively healthy.
The only thing under a B here for them is their field, and that's not even that big of an issue for them.
Dude, I real quick, I was so shocked that our like team travel was like a C.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought that was really interesting too, because
Travel.
I hear all the time that I mean, I'd never hear 49er players complain about it. I wonder if it's like they're complaining because they're especially gonna be complaining because they're gonna be in Australia and Mexico, 2 out of
Yeah.
country games.
Yeah, I'm not sure what really goes into it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see, like, the criteria for it. Here we go. The Rams treatment of families C plus, food and dining a D, which is
God
crazy because it's
damn,
a whole
yeah.
new stadium. Their training
Yeah.
staff room a B and an A.
Lock
Their locker room's a D. Like what? Brand new stadium.
like, bro, they got a new stadium, like, what
That's
damn.
interesting. Actually, I kind of understand maybe their food and dining because I went there one time for a preseason game. Their food was trash. So they're probably giving the players the same thing they give the fans. It was not good, but it was also the first year they opened. So
Let's see what the,
Cardinals,
Cardinals one is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Treatment of families D plus, home field B, food and dining C, locker room F minus. Oof. Their training room is
God
a
damn.
D. Training staff is a B
I
minus.
mean, they were hurt a lot too, I guess.
That's true. Their ownership is an F. Wow.
Overall ranked 31st, yeah.
Yeah. So they got a lot of issues as well. But you'd think for the 49ers, and I don't know, did you watch the Rise of the Niners, that show?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Well, it just kinda is a good reminder too for fans like our age too, like just how they operated back then with Eddie DeBartolo, because he was arguably
Mhm,
one of the greatest owners of all time. Uh, in that show, he was talking about how he treated everybody like family there, like Joe Montana, all the players out there,
mhm,
whatever they needed, whatever they wanted for them and their families, they would treat he would treat them to it because it was like that's how he wanted the 49ers to be built. And I think that was part of the reason why they were so successful because they were such a tight knit group and they had trust in their owner. And
yeah,
you don't see that as much today. And even with Jed York, it's like I think our ownership got an A. I think he got like a graded an A, but you saw like the treatment of families was still like a B. I think that's something
yeah,
that is a knock on the 49ers because I think if these grades would have been out back in the 80s, I think that would have been an A plus because Eddie D would make sure that your family was okay. And there's even some stories like he would go out to players' families if someone like passed away, he'd go to the hospital.
mm,
I mean, even Dwight Clark when he passed away, Eddie D was by his side there. So definitely
yeah.
some changes in decades, but I think it's just something.
Because I know yeah, because I
Oh, do we just lose media? Oh
oops,
no. Oh, you're back. Okay.
okay. I don't know what happened to my Wi-Fi there, but what I was gonna say is, like, if you go back to the whole Ricky Pearsall thing,
Hmm.
like, I don't remember I mean, I know there was the party, but it's like, I would still
Party,
think Jed York would have
right?
been there, instead it was just John Lynch, so it's like,
Yeah. The only cool thing, maybe he's trying to make
okay.
it up though, because when George Kittle tore his Achilles, he came down with the bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
So he's got his positives
Yeah,
here and
but,
there.
like, he's already there too, cause like, he'd be at the game,
That's
obviously,
true.
especially if it's a playoff game, but I'm like, "Dude, you literally had your rookie guy
Yeah.
get shot, and you weren't even at the,
Yeah, you think you'd
like,
go
hospital, instead you
fly
just
out
had
there,
John
drive out
Lynch."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your first round pick too.
Yep.
And that's a whole other story, just about Jed York and the ownership for the
Mhm.
49ers. It doesn't seem like they're completely bought in with the 49ers. I've been listening to a lot of what Larry Kruger and Dieter have been talking, and Damon Bruce, about. There's the 49ers football team, but then there's also the 49ers enterprises. Because I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen like the 49ers selling off parts of their team and then
Mhm.
buying that soccer team as well. They're putting a
Yeah.
lot of their assets over there, and it seems like there's a lot of speculation as to that's one of the reasons why the Niners didn't go big in free agency last year, is because, oh, we're trying to be a little
Yeah,
cheaper.
'cause of Leagues United.
Leeds United, right? And
Or Leeds, yeah.
I've heard Dieter say that there's Jed York has a specific number of how much he only wants the 49ers football team to spend, and it's around $300 million. He doesn't want to go over that. And,
Mhm.
it's like, it seems like he would just be happy as long as the 49ers are in playoff contention every year. I don't
Yeah.
think he even
I
cares
know a
that
lot of
much
people
about a
said that.
Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
that kinda pisses me off, and that's another thing, like Eddie D, he did anything and everything to win a Super Bowl, and it's a different era, it's a different time.
Mhm.
Now there's obviously the salary cap and everything, but that's one of the things
Yeah.
that pisses me off, and as a Niners fan, it's like, we're all in with the Niners, like, why can't our ownership be all
Yeah.
in? And it doesn't seem like,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
49ers are all in like that. Um,
Mhm.
kinda side.
Real quick, what'd you
Yeah.
think of the Niners bringing back, what was his name? The old Vikings GM,
Oh, Kwesi?
yeah, Kwesi Mensah?
Mensa. I mean, I don't think it's gonna impact the Niners too much. He wasn't a fantastic GM, I think, for the Vikings the past couple years.
Yeah,
He did draft Jordan Addison, um, but he also drafted JJ McCarthy.
yeah. I
So.
what I've been saying is though, like he's not making the final say with the Niners. And like Jason and I were talking about this a little bit earlier,
Hmm,
but it's like I still think they need to bring in like a draft expert type of
yeah,
guy that's like overlooks with like okay, you have your scouts who
mhm,
obviously tell John and Kyle and Jed or whatever a lot of the information, but then you should have a guy with John Lynch that's like a big time like draft analyst, and
yeah.
then like you have him also help.
I agree with that. I thought that's what they were gonna do. I thought they're gonna hire a new GM, and I thought they were gonna promote John Lynch to, was it, I think maybe he already is actually the president of football operations,
Yeah,
or
because
just,
he's already
yeah,
that he's like
he's already
GM
that.
and president of football.
Yeah,
So
I thought that's what they were gonna do once they, promoted Al Guido to CEO. I thought they're
mm,
gonna move John Lynch up to, so he'd just be the more of the face of the franchise and hire some guy, like you said, a total draft, specialist that would make most of the decisions. I think that's what the Niners really need, because you look at what there are, where they're at right now, player wise, and they've been hurt with those last three drafts. Outside of
yeah, I mean
last
the
year, I feel like
last two haven't
after
been
last two have been
terrible.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they slowly gotten a little better. So maybe they fixed it a little bit, but the three drafts beforehand is kind of what screwed us to where the Niners are at now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, you have any more thoughts on the training room, NFL grades?
I hope they're doing something with it. I even put out a quote because we saw this where John Lynch was asked about the you know the quote unquote substation.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me pull that up. Mm, Okay, so he was saying that believes that the substation won't impact like the team's plans and like free agents wanting to basically come here. And then he was talking about like the history of how like this is a great place to like live, play in an iconic organization, so the normal one. But
mhm,
then he also did mention that they're working with the team and are encouraged by some of the early things, but obviously you would expect them to also say that. He's not
yeah,
gonna be like, "Oh no, we're worried," like,
yeah. It's just another PR response.
but this was from like I guess the chief of medical officer that they were discussing this with, and so um they're continuing to monitor it though, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess we kind of move into his press conference a little bit because that'll get into Trent Williams. But yeah, do you think that is going to affect free agency? You hear now everyone's kind of backtracking. It seems like George Kittle a little bit saying no, like, there's no real science behind it, and it doesn't seem like
Yeah,
it's really going to affect us. Kurt
CMC
Warner is
too.
saying it, CMC.
Yeah,
Um, because I really think it's on people's minds, and hopefully
yeah,
it's not a factor of like if someone's on the brink of signing with the Niners or signing with someone else. I hope the substation isn't a
yeah,
deal breaker, and I think the Niners need somehow before free agency starts. I think that's coming up in the next week or two. They need to somehow
yeah,
like put out a whole statement and a whole like scientific, whatever scientific paper saying that the substation does not affect any player development or any uh, health of any players. They need to put out
yeah.
some
I
study.
my thing is if we see day 3, day 4, nothing,
Hmm.
then I'm gonna be concerned. But
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see, man. The Niners also did bring back their long snapper, John Weeks. So
it's true. That's a needle mover right there.
hopefully they bring back Eddie Pinheiro,
Yeah, I
who
saw.
he also doesn't want to like. It doesn't look like they're gonna tag him.
Yeah, I did see that quote. I think what Lynch said that, I believe.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind tagging in though. They probably won't use it, but
yeah.
'cause
They
I don't know
just I
how much
don't
he
think want
wants
to
to.
pay him 6 million.
Yeah, they better sign Eddie P though. If you don't,
Yeah.
that's a concern because you're back at square one at
Mhm.
kicker, and you can obviously go find one on the
Yeah,
streets.
there's our favorite kicker that's a free agent. Don't worry, guys. We can go bring back Jacob Moody.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you saw what Eddie P did for the Niners this year. The Niners should
Yeah.
reward him for that, sign him to
No,
a
I
multi-year
agree.
deal. Nothing too lucrative, but
I'd say like 3 years.
yeah, he won you some games. He was the only one to put up points for you against the Seahawks in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
reward the man.
And
And
week
everyone loves
18, yeah.
Eddie P's vibes. Get mixed up with
Yeah.
Eddie D and Eddie P now. But moving forward into John Lynch's press conference, I think we could get into
Yeah.
some big time news also regarding Trent Williams. So,
Mm.
90 minutes approximately before John Lynch went on with the media at the combine, Adam Schefter dropped the report by, I think, Trent Williams' agent saying that Trent Williams and the Niners were not close to finding common ground on a contract extension. Trent Williams doesn't have any more guaranteed money left, I think, on his contract, and he wants to get paid. The big man wants to get paid. He's not happy anymore. And this is something that the Niners should have expected because he's done it every single time
Yeah.
that he's has 1 year left on his deal, even
Mhm.
before he
Or
even
it's like non-guaranteed, yeah.
yeah, non-guaranteed. Um, should the Niners be concerned? Are the Niners going to sign Trent Williams? Do they
Mm.
got? Are they going to give
Yeah,
him?
also another thing that Schefter kinda said in the tweet was, like, if they cannot basically, like, look at both sides and
Hmm.
kinda come to, like, a consensus, then he'd be joining this year's free agency class. To me, it makes sense, and guess why the Niners would have not made this guaranteed? Because the guy's 38 years
Yeah,
old.
they
So if
probably
if
expect
he's
him to
like,
maybe
"Imma
go retire.
retire," yeah, if Imma retire, I don't wanna take a big cap space like frickin' D Ford.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like I think that that's why the Niners have been kinda doing this where, like, when they gave him that 6-year extension, right?
Hmm.
At the time we saw, it was kinda like 2, 3-year deals where it's like, "Okay, let's see how the first 3 years go." And then obviously it was fine, so then they made that guaranteed, and so I think that's what the Niners are trying to do here again, is just 1 year after 1 year kinda dealing with that. That's why they're not trying to, like, extend him like crazy, but
Hmm.
I mean, who are you gonna put at left tackle if you don't have Trent Williams? Austin
Exactly.
Pleasance? I sure hope not. So
If that happens, you can guarantee the 49ers are not going to be in playoff contention. You can't even have Super Bowl and 49ers in the same sentence if you don't have
yeah,
Trent
no, I
Williams on your team
agree.
next year.
So I think it will get done. Like we mentioned, I think that what was it?
What did Grant
March
Cohn say?
20th.
Oh
March
yeah, March
20th
20th.
is kind of the date to look for because that's like I believe the option bonus.
Yeah, he'll get a
In the
$10 million option bonus March 20th.
so
So I think, yeah, for Niner
yeah,
fans, that's a date to look at. So this thing probably won't drag out into training camp or anything like that.
Yeah, let's hope
Um,
so.
yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's done before March 20th.
Yeah.
Because if they don't decide to extend him at that point or even release him at that point, he's going to get $10 million anyway. So imagine he gets the $10 million and he decides he wants to be a free agent, and then the Niners are paying the guy not even to be on the team anymore. So
Yeah, so this was the line where I was trying to talk about where it's like if the two sides can't bridge their differences and a standoff Williams could be expected to join this year's free agent class, making him one of the premier players available.
and the thing is too, he would be happy to do it, because he's all about the money. He doesn't mind
Yeah.
signing with any other team. Lynch said in the
Mhm.
pressers, like, we love Trent Williams as a Niner, and he loves being a Niner. But he loves being the highest paid left tackle in the league. Also, I think he loves that a little more than being a
And
49er.
guess
So
who would be probably willing to
the
get him if
Chiefs,
he becomes no, the Patriots.
yeah, that was gonna be my second name too, because the Super Bowl would have looked a little different if they had Trent Williams. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, this gets to a consensus pretty soon. But
And the other thing too about this Trent Williams situation is the Niners wouldn't even be here right now if they actually prioritized their offensive line.
yeah,
Trent Williams is 38 years old. Why didn't you go, draft his replacement, his eventual replacement, and they
yeah,
haven't done that. And you hear all the stuff where Shanahan, Chris Forster, they don't prioritize getting offensive linemen early in the draft because they
mhm.
think having guys that touch the ball are more vital than guys on the offensive line. But I disagree with that point. But to each their own, I guess. The Niners still haven't won a Super Bowl with their offensive line they have had. If you look at teams like the Eagles 2 years ago, they had probably the
Yep.
best offensive line in the NFL, and look what happened
And
there.
dude, they've had always, I feel like, the best offensive line, like,
Yeah.
every year almost. So, and they keep doing it when they need to, like,
Mhm.
they just keep replenishing it. So,
So
I
it'll
don't
be
know.
interesting to
Hopefully,
see.
this gets done soon, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all points are pointing towards Trent Williams, the Niners signing him to a contract extension and pushing some money back to next year so they don't have to worry about it this year. But it's the fact that it's gotten to this point again is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um okay. Do you want to get into draft prospects the Niners have met with so far, or do we want to get into Mac Jones just a little bit?
Let's do Mac Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
then we'll get into
we've
the
heard
draft stuff.
constantly now the 49ers saying that they're not gonna trade Mac Jones, right? But
Mhm.
there's always a price. There's always a price out there. There's a
Yeah,
couple
and
of
we know the
teams,
Niners listen, so
they always listen, and there's a couple teams out there that potentially could need a quarterback. A team maybe like the Vikings.
yeah,
You look at the Cardinals, I don't see the Niners trading in division, but that's just another
yeah.
team that could need.
Miami, if Tua really is gone. Yeah.
Exactly.
The only thing is, and Jason had brought up this really good point to which I didn't even, I don't know, realize. But the thing
Mhm.
is, he only has 1 year left on his contract. So the thing is, if you were to trade for him, you would hope that you extend him. So it's like,
Right.
okay, who would be those teams that would actually,
I
do
think
that?
any team, honestly, that would wanna trade for him would wanna give him an extension, though. I think the only team you could say maybe they wouldn't is if somehow the Raiders decided to trade for Mac Jones,
No, they're
but
not
also have
going.
Fernando Mendoza, like, have
Oh
Mac Jones
yeah.
be, like, the bridge quarterback for, like, a
Mhm.
season, you know? But other than that, if any team that would be willing to sign Mac Jones, they would do it for a contract extension. The same thing with Sam Darnold, in the Vikings, you know?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's really only Mac Jones out there. I mean, how many top quarterbacks would be available for teams? It's Mac Jones and what's his name? Is it Malik Willis? I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
then
the quarterback.
Andy Dalton
Andy
apparently is
Dalton.
also on the trade market
Yes.
because I did see some reports from like a Schefter Adam or Rappaport about like the Panthers having
Mhm.
discussions about Dalton being traded. So
So there's not a lot of quarterbacks out there, and I think out of those
yeah,
quarterbacks, Mac Jones would be the top one because you saw what he did last year for the Niners. I did see though one of those reports also saying that Malik Willis could get like $30 million a year, which is kind of
yeah, it
crazy to
was
me.
like actually insane. And then I know obviously the Jets, but
Yeah.
I would not wanna send him to the New York Jets. I
No,
feel so bad for
don't
him.
don't kill his career now. Uh,
Yeah.
in the Instagram comments, Niners faithful, how's it going, dude? How we feeling about this year draft? There's a whole lot of speed at every position.
Mm,
That's a positive. I think any draft pick the Niners end up getting because of how much speed there is in this draft so far. We've seen it like on the D ends or the defensive
mm,
linemen. We've seen a lot of
yeah.
receivers with crazy speed, even DBs this year. That's the
Mhm.
main thing the Niners need is speed. They need to
Yeah.
beat up where the Seahawks are. The Niners have been really slow. We're really slow this year, so I'm excited about it. And honestly, any pick the Niners end up with, I think we'll be happy, at least on the speed side of things.
Yeah, the Niners, have 7 draft picks, so we'll see. I mean, really hope they can somehow get more, because
Yeah.
I think they're gonna need it, even if you try to fill in holes in free agency, because like left guard's gonna be a hole,
Mhm.
tight end, what do they do? Corner, they could still use like another one, some depth.
Right.
Um, and then obviously the D line too. You need other guys, so
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, we can pop over to a couple guys that the Niners have met with so far in the combine that happened. That started this week. I
Mm,
don't know incredibly a lot about some of these guys. I haven't done my draft homework, unfortunately, but
mm,
one of them is Texas safety Michael Taff. I heard a lot of good things from this guy. Um, Cornerback Dalen Everett from Georgia, linebacker Bryce Ocher. I can't pronounce his name, but I know this guy's actually a dog from Oregon. My buddy Noah. If you guys get Boach, take care of him, please. And then this big old man, defensive tackle Xavier
yeah.
Harris from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Four of those guys there, and then I think this was
And
today also wide
you have
receiver
Antonio
Williams.
Williams, yeah.
And I don't know if I'm missing any other that the Niners have met with
Mm,
so far, but
yeah, let me double
um,
check because I know I've been posting them too, so
yeah. One of the guys that is interesting though that has gotten a player comp of Debo
mm,
Samuel, and that's Omar Cooper, and
yeah.
he got a player comp of prime Debo Samuel from his teammate Fernando Mendoza, Heisman
Yeah.
Doza, which is actually really interesting, and I think something the Niners really have to look out for because, um, a couple days ago too in the press conference, there's speculation now that everyone's saying Debo Samuel might be coming back to the 49ers. I'm not a fan of that personally. I think
Heck
the best
no.
couple of days are behind him. He did have 700 something yards last year in receiving, but he's not the same Debo Samuel he was 3 seasons ago. Um, I don't know. What would you
I've heard someone say this and I love how they've said it, but it's like getting back with your ex-girlfriend if you bring back Debo Samuel.
Yeah, your ex-girlfriend. Yeah. It's definitely similar vibes to that. I'm just gonna leave it at
Yeah,
that.
so like, dude, no Debo. He does not fill what the Niners need to do now. So,
Yeah, I don't think the
yeah,
Niners should turn back the clock with Debo, but what they can do is move the clock forward and get a guy that's like Debo Samuel, Omar Cooper, and this is what Fernando Mendoza had
yeah.
to say about him.
People compare him to Debo Samuel, and I believe Omar's a receiver. More by far more than running back. But that's what I see. It's like a prime Debo Samuel because, and obviously Debo's a great player. So just the upside in that aspect. And he has great body control, great hands. He can really play any position on the field, and have him as a receiver that can be a gadget guy, also take it deep, and also have great routes and hands, especially the quarterback. And he helped make me this year. So really, just shout out to him. He's also a great teammate. He's also a great teammate as well. And I know
Praise there from Mendoza. I also have one stat from Cooper from Indiana this year. He had a 31.3% forced missed tackle rate. So if that
Mm,
doesn't remind you of Debo Samuel, if we remember Debo in his prime, that was his forte, breaking tackles left and right. So I
yeah.
think Omar Cooper could be a guy the 49ers look out for. Matt
Mhm.
Barrows put out an article of top 10 prospects the Niners could potentially want to draft, and he was up there at number 4. He had 500 yards after the catch in
Mm.
2025. Another
We
Debo-esque
should bring
stat.
up that article actually then.
Yeah, I'll try to pull it up.
Could even
I have
talk
I
about
actually have
some
all
of
the 10 guys. I wrote it down here, but
okay.
I'll pull it up too. And he's viewed before he was before the combine. I don't know
Mhm.
his numbers today, but he was viewed as a day 2 pick. So
Yeah.
not looking like a first rounder, but Niners potentially could pick him up in the second round. Let me see if I can find that article.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind him. The Niners obviously need a wide receiver. I know the other popular name from Texas A&M is Casey Concepcion.
Mhm.
He has the speed too, which the Niners have said, they need to get faster. They need to add some speed. And like you mentioned, Cole, a few minutes ago, and bringing up Seattle, right? Like they have the speed. The problem was with the Niners is they're so slow now
Yeah.
that like they're basically outmatched with this Seattle speed. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Speed and physicality is what the Niners need on wide
yeah.
receiver, and then just on both sides of the trenches is really the concoction to somehow beat the
Mhm.
Seattle Seahawks. So this is Matt Barrow's article on The Athletic. 10 guys that he has on here. A lot of them are wide receivers. I think most of them are wide receivers, and then the other 4 for the most part were DNs. So we got right here wide receiver Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. Some of the big points he noted is that he's able to create space on slants and crossers, which is what Kyle Shanahan likes to do in his offense. Lots of slants and a lot of crossers. The only knock on him is that he struggled off the line of scrimmage with physical DBs. So on the line man-to-man coverage, had some issues there. And he only had 1 drop, though, on 102 targets in 2025. So the man's got great hands, and he does what the 49ers what Shanahan's offense does. He runs those slants and those crossers.
Yeah, so I mean, I see here the issues he says are like speed and physicality, and then also the depth of target,
Mhm.
and like getting, against physical corners. I
Yeah,
haven't really watched him yet, so
me either. And then we got wide receiver Chris Braswell the second from Tennessee. We also know another guy from Tennessee that is on the 49ers, Jawan Jennings.
well, he's a free agent, but
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but but we know Tennessee produces dogs is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Um, 49ers looking for an X receiver at the end of round 1. It's hard not to pause on Brazel. 6'5". I think that's the same height as Jawan Jennings also.
Mhm.
Fluid hips, gets off the line cleanly, and his comp is George Pickens and T. Higgins. If the Niners got a T. Higgins or George Pickens kind of player,
Mhm.
I'm very intrigued right there hearing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's lazy on his route running, but he also was
Yeah.
arrested in August for multiple traffic violations. So at the same time, I don't know if the Niners want the off-field issues like that.
Yeah. And
And then
just the fact that he's kinda, like, slow and not, like, a great route runner at times.
right, could be something the Niners might take him off the board for.
Mhm.
And then who you brought up already, wide receiver Casey Concepcion. I know he's a smaller
By the
receiver.
way, best name in the draft.
It is a pretty sick name.
Him and Ephesian Pricelock, and I will say those are the 2
Yes.
names.
Absolutely. He had an average 15.1 yards per catch, which is huge. He scored 9 offensive touchdowns and 2 punt returns in
Mm,
2025. Created separation quickly and potentially devastating pairing with Brock Purdy's fast release. That is, and Concepcion has been mocked to the Niners a couple times on
yeah.
I think ESPN mock drafts and other
Mhm.
people's mock drafts like that. So I would be happy with Casey Concepcion, honestly, with that
Yeah.
separation skills and 15.1 yards per catch. I like
Mhm.
what I see from there. Uh, Omar Cooper, we already got into him a little bit.
Mhm.
He ran a 4.4. Oh, if he posts a 4.4 and runs crisp routes on Friday, which this was a couple days ago, he could find himself in the first round. This is the Debo Samuel comp right here. And
Mhm.
another intriguing pick for the Niners at wide receiver. Edge. I think
Mhm.
this is what the Niners need, in my opinion. I know we talked about it before. You said DT. I think the Niners got to go edge. Got to get a pure pass rusher, and I think edge Cassius Howell from Texas A&M as well could potentially be a guy. Um, Smaller on the smaller side, 250 pounds, but he had 11 and a half sacks this season with
Mhm.
14 tackle for losses. He's a smaller guy, speedy, and they're saying with Raheem Morris, it might be a good pairing. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the whole GTFO thing that they made
Yeah.
uh, is, I
Well,
guess,
uh,
you know,
the D
sure.
defensive line coach made that, right?
Yeah,
Kusurk. I can
yeah,
never say his name.
yeah, yep. So that's interesting. Notre Dame.
Another wide receiver. Poor man's AJ Brown, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's supposed to be a knock or if that's supposed to be like, oh, he's just like the Walmart version of AJ Brown. Um, Couple notes on him. He's 6'4", so he's a bigger receiver, 220 frame. He's able to use his frame and shield defenders, and he's able to high point balls. He's considered a second round consideration. Not too much on him. Bottle Patron, and then offensive tackle Max I can't even pronounce his name. Ihenaker from Arizona State. Oh, this is probably a guy you don't want to see.
That's why I made that face. I was like, hell no.
Heck
Hell no.
no. Difficult for the 49ers to take an aggressive stance in contract talks with Trent because they don't have a young left tackle waiting in their wing. So if the 49ers were to make a move on offensive tackle, I think if they do make a move on offensive tackle, you put him at left guard this season because Spencer Burford is probably not going to be with the Niners. And this
Yeah.
is one of the names. I know him, Freeling, I think it's like Max Freeling or something like that, is a name that's been brought up a couple times for the Niners. And this guy too, I can't even pronounce his last name. So bad. But he's 6'6" and 325 pounds. So the guy's huge. Allowed no sacks and only 14 pressures last season. Good stuff there. Akeem Mesidor. I don't know if you watched the college championship, but
I don't
him,
think he'll be there though.
yeah, I know. Imagine though, if he dropped down to us, I think the Niners take him,
Yeah.
honestly. Him and Ruben Bain. Imagine him and Nick Bosa on either side. I'd love it.
And then Michael Williams mixed in.
Yeah, that would be a deadly, deadly mixture. Malachi is draft crush for Captain Niner. Interesting.
Malachi, which one was that
Was it that?
again?
Was it the receiver? Malachi Fields? Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, Malachi Fields.
And then the last two on the list, a defensive end, TJ Parker from Clemson. TJ Parker, 49er scout, saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he stood out there, had a big time performance at the Senior Bowl. 6'4", 263 pounds, solid run and pass defender. He had 41 pressures last season and 5.5 sacks. So a guy that's able to get to the quarterback, an issue the Niners had, obviously, this season, only getting to the quarterback 20 times, ranking, I think, dead last in the league this year. So the Niners really need to focus on the defensive line and wide receiver in this draft. And then finally, I think this is a big name too. Tight end Kenyon Sadiq, which after today, I don't think he's going to be on the
Yeah, he's not gonna be there.
7. He ran a 4.3940, the fastest by tight end since 2003. And who was that tight end? 49ers.
Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis. The guy is fast, freaky fast for a tight end, and he's a good route runner, they say, according to Matt Barrows, and a good blocker. I watched a whole minute and 30 breakdown of the SF Niners, just showing clips of him. You know, he looks like George Kittle out there with Oregon, hand-picking defenders. I mean, he looked great. And if the Niners if he somehow dropped or the Niners somehow decided to trade up for him, he'd be the successor of George Kittle, probably for sure.
Yeah.
We ain't getting Sadiq. I know it's a dream, but one can
Yeah.
dream.
Yep.
And then here's this one guy that I know you posted about him. Let me see if I can pull up your post. Wide receiver from Louisville, Chris Bell.
Yeah, so there was a report about that today from Tony Pauline. So,
You could break that down for us.
yes. So this was in an article from Tony Pauline that said the 49ers are targeting Louisville wide receiver Chris Bell in the first round. He stated that recent word here at the combine is Bell is basically there's conversations about him being a potential late round pick in the first round. You know, he is coming off an ACL, I'm pretty sure. So
Mhm.
that's iffy. And the reason I kind of trust this guy is because he's been right sometimes with the Niners. Like a few years ago, he mentioned how the Niners were targeting Isaac Guerrero like in the third, fourth round, and then the Niners got him. I mean, we'll see. It's still also early with this one.
Yeah.
But I think the Niners need to obviously go away from guys that have ACL like coming off big injuries, and because they need the help now. It's not like a type of thing where they can have him be sitting. So
Right, have them be a year-to-year project and somehow get
yeah,
them up. Yeah, the Niners are in desperation for production now for sure. That's the only thing I'd say. Stay away from guys that have been injured the past year or 2, we already have enough injuries, and I think that
and
just
I mean I know we did that with like Pearsall because
right.
he coming out of college I don't think he ever got hurt, but then obviously
Now it's the Niners.
unfortunately, yeah.
But it's the training staff in the training room, C-minus grades, so it's that reason, not the substation, or the Niners might just be cursed too.
Dude, imagine they're like grading the substation.
Bro, they should, honestly. Okay, I think that's all of the reports of who the Niners have met with so far in the combine. I know
Yeah, but like we'll see what
tomorrow
the
the
top
receivers are
30
running.
visits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like top 30 visits should be coming out in
Mhm.
the next like probably I think you after free agency, maybe before a little bit, but
Yeah.
like that's when we'll really start to see okay, who
Who
the
who we're
Niners
really
have
targeting
really
here.
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause who do you or not who, but what position did you say you think the Niners go for at 27 overall?
I
Has it
think
changed for you?
it's gonna be a D lineman or wide receiver.
Yeah. I'm kinda on that train. I don't know if I originally said offensive lineman, but I'm really I think they're gonna lean towards defensive line, whether that is gonna be DT or a defensive end. I personally hope it's a defensive end, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of good prospects out there, and after today or I think it was yesterday, defensive lineman ran, and there's a lot of speedy guys out there, so, uh,
And I
I
mean,
think that's a
Kyle,
lot of good
John
options.
Lynch said that the draft is the life and blood
Mhm.
of this team, like during his presser. So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. Like, and I hope they can somehow get more draft picks
Mhm.
because I think they definitely could use 9 to 10s, maybe. So, yeah,
Get
we'll
a,
see what
second
happens.
rounder and, like, a 5th rounder for Mac Jones right there.
Mm,
I
wouldn't
might
hate it.
consider
Yeah.
trade Mac Jones, and then they said the Falcons are gonna cut Kirk Cousins, have Kirk Cousins be your backup quarterback.
Mm,
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
yeah, wouldn't.
He already
Especially
knows
if you,
Shanahan, he knows the system. I think he
yeah,
can win you a couple games. He's 38 years old though, but,
yeah. I mean, you
uh,
have Curtis Rourke too, so
that is true, but he's
you can see
unproven,
what he.
and
Yeah,
I
but
don't
like you can see what
The
he.
Niners do bad at drafting quarterbacks, like, let's be honest, they got so lucky with
Yeah,
Brock Purdy, but
yeah.
CJ Beathard, they traded up for him in the 3rd round. Trey
Dude, it
Lance.
was so funny because I remember they were watching CJ Beathard,
Mhm.
or they were, I forget which way it was, but either they were watching Kittle, and then that's how they found about
I saw
CJ
that.
Beathard,
You're talking about
or
that
it was
video?
like, yeah, or they were watching CJ Beathard, and that's how they knew about Kittle. I forget which way
Yeah,
it was, but
it was
like,
CJ Beathard. They're watching CJ Beathard, and I think his receivers or something dropped out for that day, and he called up George Kittle, was like, "Hey, I need you to
yep,
come run routes for me." And Kittle, I think he said he was, like, out late the night before, so I think he was kinda hungover. He's like, "Dude, if they see me how I look today, I'm never gonna get
yeah,
drafted." But he looked good apparently that day catching passes from Beathard, and Niners ultimately
yeah,
drafted him. The rest was history.
yep.
I'll drop a couple of important dates, I guess, for the coming
Mm,
weeks into the NFL calendar. Obviously, this week's the NFL Scouting Combine. This post was by Matt Mayoko. March 3rd is the deadline for franchise tagging. So if the Niners
mm.
do end up using a franchise tag, they said they're not going to do it on Eddie P. I think that's the only
So
person
then it's pretty unlikely they won't, because
pretty
the
likely to
Niners
use
last
it.
time they used it was on Robbie Gold. So
Yeah, wow. So that was years ago.
yeah,
March
so
9th
yeah,
through 11th.
Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday, March 9th through 11th is open negotiating period.
Mm,
And then March 11th at 1 p.m., free agent signing period begins and the trading window opens. And then after that, it's free game until April 23rd to 25th, which is the 2026 NFL draft. So we got plenty of football coming our way, guys.
Yep, free agency is almost here. Yeah, they were there for CJ. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which way it was, but
So I think the big things the Niners need to be looking out for outside of the draft right now is pay Trent Williams money and
mhm,
sign Eddie P again. I think those are their top
yeah,
two things in this offseason so far.
yep, I agree.
Do you have
Don't
anything else
think
to add? Did we miss anything?
I don't think Jawan's gonna be back, so
Yeah, I think Juwan,
yeah.
I think he's gonna get outpriced for the Niners. Uh,
Hmm,
I don't think they don't want I think he's gonna get paid something like 20 million a year. Niners aren't
yeah.
gonna do it.
Do you want to do a quick mock draft or?
Yeah, we could. You have a good simulator for that? Do you know a good website they usually use?
Let me see. Should use PFF because I'm paying for it, but Mhm. Let me see. Let me see. We could use Pro Football Network or NFL Mock Draft Database.
Okay. Do you wanna pull it up or do you want me to pull it up?
I can pull it up. Let me see. Let's do Pro Football Network. Let me see if I might need you to actually, but let me check. Oh yeah,
Six
okay.
model draft.
I'll have to send you. Okay, let me just send. He's saying that because that's the website we were using where we would.
Oh, is that the
Yeah,
it's
but yeah,
Mark
I sent you the Pro Football Network one.
okay.
I keep forgetting I should not be using Firefox for this.
Okay, we got it up there.
Yeah. So then we do 7 rounds, even though Niners don't have 7 rounds.
Right.
And
Select
then
team.
we do Niners. Yep. And we could do normal speed, or if we want to do fast, because I don't think we're gonna do trades.
Yeah, I think normal should be fine then.
Okay.
Or yeah, we do fast, I guess. We'll see.
Sometimes their picks are so like weird.
Sadiq already went.
Ooh.
3 trade offers.
I mean, let's see. Okay. Let's look at
37,
next. I don't know if I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
27,
I'm
52.
only maybe accepting the. I don't know if I'd want to drop all the way to 52. That's the thing.
Yeah. I kind of like our first round pick. I think we need to keep our first round pick.
Hmm.
What? Okay, this one is. I feel like is the most stupidest one. I'm rejecting
Yeah,
this
that
one too.
that one's not bad though. Like
I like this
37.
one.
I mean, yes, you're giving up 127, but then you get
We get one.
for now, let's just not do
Let's
any
just not do
trades
trades. Yeah.
and then like we'll in another stingers.
So
Ooh,
Caleb Banks from
Caleb Banks
Texans
got
soon.
taken right away.
Zeke at
Okay, so
23.
how we'll do this is we could just keep going back and forth. So I guess I'll let you do the first pick.
Okay. Where do we go? Whoops. So I'm assuming these are our top guys available right now.
Yeah, and then if you go to offense, you can or defense, you can pick a position to look at.
Monroe Freeling, that was a guy that people had the Niners mocking. Omar
Hmm.
Cooper. So we got some.
Then there's the Washington wide receiver too.
Yeah, Denzel Boston.
It's Boston.
Got some good options here. But I'm gonna stick with I think I'm gonna stick with what I've been saying. I think the Niners gotta go let's see what they have on edge. Either edge
Lee
or
Hunter,
Zion Young is the one.
Zion Young. Yeah.
Oh, and this shows like where they are projected to go. 34 more.
Yeah, the problem with this one is sometimes I feel like they're so different than some of the other ones. But yeah,
Right.
Lawrence is someone that like is now, according to Brad, getting
Getting a lot
similar
of
to
looks.
what's his name? The um the guy that used to be on the Panthers but now is on the Giants.
Oh, Brian Burns.
Yeah,
Something
Brian
Burns. He's
Burns.
playing Brian Burns.
Yeah, Brian Burns.
16.5 tackles for losses, 6.5. 6'5", 255, 33-inch arms. I really liked hearing about Zion Young. 6'6", explosive off the line, athletic, lean mass. He's my pick.
Alrighty, let me see what we got here. What, pick 58? We're just going to reject all trades for now. All right, let me look at wide receivers.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I want to look at corners real quick.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to see where my okay. So they have Stooks at
is your guy.
90, Takaria Davis, who's also because he went to Arizona. Okay, I could wait.
Curious Davis.
Let's look at safety.
Some of those guys will be around for a bit.
I'm just trying to see where they're project scroll. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me go to receiver. Or we could look at DT even.
We'll go receiver first. Then.
Okay. So Antonio Williams, again, that's someone that the Niners have met with. We just saw Jermaine Bernard get mentioned by, was it Barrows?
Arrows, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Barrows. Okay. Elijah Surratt. I don't really know much about him. Okay, do not give me. Wait, is that the guy that is like? Who's the guy that I don't like? Hold up.
Bernard,
Okay,
Surratt,
anyways,
if you're going receiver, it'd probably be these three in the second round.
Yeah, I'm really looking between like Bernard and Jermaine Bernard and
Bernard only had one drop,
Elijah.
but he struggled.
Can I see what Surratt's description is?
6'2", 290 pounds, so he's pretty hefty. Clips 1,000 yards.
James Madison.
15 touchdowns, career high. Has a deadly catch point and a red zone threat against highest level of competition. Fits a mold of wide receiver that has been polarizing time and time again on the NFL draft circuit. He's not the most explosive, nor does he have seam stretching speed, but he has the necessary foot speed, sink, and tempo IQ to separate independently. And at the catch, high-level converter and true late hands master with extraordinary composure, timing sense, and body control.
And the toughness and play strength transit in the rack phase, as well as a blocker, which is good, which Surratt brings constant effort and plasma athletic traits matter, but Ooh, this one's tough.
Yeah.
6'2". How tall is Antonio?
Ooh, 5'11".
He's 5'11".
190. He's a smaller guy. I think
Yeah.
I feel like the guys want to go a little higher, a little taller.
Then Jermaine Bernard, 6 feet. Doesn't have elite athletic athleticism. Well, he's not an over the twitching mover or zone route with that man beater. Bernard. So he's more of a zone, okay. 6 feet, okay. Let's just go with Elijah Surratt.
Okay. Drafting Surratt.
So we got wide receiver and edge. All right, decline. Yep.
It's Darian Price. So now we're in the third round.
Yeah.
We got a receiver. We got a defensive end. I think now we can start looking at offensive line. Offensive tackles or... Okay. What pick are we at right now? 92. Offensive tackle. Let's see. Caleb Tiernan. I don't know much about this guy, but he's 6'7", 325 pounds from Northwestern. Offensive tackle, started over 40 games, taking notable reps at both left and right tackle. At the very least, he profiles as a stellar swing tackle candidate right away. Wow. Okay, right off the bat, I'm liking his size. It's not overly explosive, just
23.
quick enough for 6'7". I would think so, with precise, heavy hands. In the run game, he's an angle sound with great urgency and physicality. That's something you want to see because offensive linemen that are good in the run for the Niners is always a
Mhm.
plus.
Yeah.
Quality leverage acquisition skills, and as a pass blocker, he dutifully subscribes to the wide base, tight hands mantra. Okay, so that right there, that's very enticing for me to select him, and potentially play him at left guard until Trent Williams retires.
Hmm.
Kalen Rutledge from Georgia Tech, the offensive guard. Another
Like a lot of people have liked him, right?
Yeah, I've heard this name before. Kalen Rutledge, 316, 6'3". After 17 games for the Blue Raiders, transferred to Georgia Tech, made similarly quick impact. He was two-time first-team All-ACC competitor. At around 6'4", 330, he's a compact block of fury inside the tackles. There's an argument to make no offensive lineman bring more energy and relentless zeal. His limited knee bend affects his leverage acquisition and pad level maintenance, but he has a temperament to be tone setter on Sundays. Interesting.
I think that's not a bad pick.
Yeah. Um, I think I would hold off on tight end probably for now.
Okay.
Running backs. Keelan Black, I know he got mocked for the Niners like in the 7th round, I think.
Hmm.
He's projected to go 128, so that's
Hey, but let's not go the Niners way. Let's not draft a running back in the
yeah, I'm not gonna do it right now, but honestly I might go.
Jason did that to me earlier, though.
He went running back.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Tiernan. I think it's best
Okay.
available at offensive tackle. He's supposed to go 93, and
Okay.
I think you gotta
Alright.
find Trent Williams replacement, and in the 3rd round, I
Yeah,
think
okay.
it's not as big of a reach.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, let me look at corners, please.
Okay. We're at 127 right now. This guy was projected to go a pick before. Do we lose media? No, he's back.
Something keeps happening. I don't know if it's in me. Okay,
Jeff
scroll
Marshall.
down. Go to okay, so price sock. Damn, they got them all the way down. Okay, let me look at safeties.
Everett is there. Michael Taff is there.
Huh.
I got the
Where the
49ers
hell is
helmet.
unless he already went.
Who are you looking for?
Okay. Stooks.
Oh, Stooks.
But I think he might
That's
have
I
already
got taken.
gone then.
Yeah.
Freaking Eagles, bro.
The Eagles take him?
Took Takaria. No, they
Oh,
took him
oh,
Takaria
Takaria?
Davis.
Dang, Stooks might yeah, Stooks went in
Ah,
the
freaking
2nd
Steelers. God damn
round.
it. All right, anyways. Okay, so go to my picks again. So we've got a wide receiver, an
Edge and
edge,
offensive
offensive
tackle.
tackle.
Wanna look at
Let me look at
linebacker?
linebacker. Yeah.
A lot of these guys.
I don't really know crap, and it seems like a pretty good reach.
Right.
Let me see. Let's
ETs?
look at corner. Or
Corners
yeah, let's look at DTs, honestly. Landon Robinson,
might be
Zane Durant.
supposed to go 133. Robinson was supposed to go at 123.
Yeah,
5'11",
Navy guy,
though.
5'11",
Short.
291. Can I see Zane Durant?
Yeah. 6'1", 290.
6'1", 290. Okay. Yes, upward trajectory, 3 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. Ooh, I like that. Where Durant converted a career by the size, take okay. He now stands at a high upside, but mid-arm price by DT measuring 6'1". Has a perfect future combination of natural leverage and proposed combines that first step gapping, pushing to the snap. He's wicked rim, but can ID block constantly get skinny through passes. Also, an impressive low body for size, which can channel with as a natural leverage to stack and slab blocks one-on-one. Meanwhile, in the pass, which Fizz Durant can use his burst, laterally aligned and well leveraged power file to puncture solo blocks and press pocket space for opposing QBs. Physically, Durant is tailor-made to be an odd front disruptor for in one gapping schemes, but his pass rush plan and counter. Okay.
Requirement. I think you want to find another D tackle that can start rushing the quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know West and Collins are already good at run blocking.
Yeah, or like they're yeah.
The run defending.
Yeah, let's close that. Honestly, because the thing is, I just don't know much about prospects. It's like,
Right, I don't know much about any of these guys, honestly, especially now that we're in the 3rd round. So, let's
yeah,
just say what if you're in the 3rd round right now, or what are we, the 4th round, I
mm.
mean, what position would you wanna take?
I think we gotta go DT because it's like
Okay.
we do need another defensive tackle. So
So these guys might be your top 2 options then, honestly.
yeah, trying to think offensive. Let's look at receiver again.
Okay. Hey,
Okay,
Bryce
well, hell
Lance.
no, hell no, hell no, hell no. Don't do this to me already. Jason did this to me too earlier where he's like, dude, Bryce Lance. Alright, Cyrus Allen, Eric McAllister.
11, smaller guy again. How tall is Bryce Lance? 6'3". Hey,
Hmm.
17 touchdowns. Hey.
And look at the first sentence in the freaking thing.
Younger brother, a 1st round draft pick, Trey Lance.
Okay. Let's look at running back.
Okay. Kalen Black is there.
Seth
Allen. A lot of these guys
Okay,
are
let's just go with the DT, I think.
okay.
Think we're just gonna go with Zane Durant.
All right. Reject.
So we've got 3 more.
Now we're at 133. Was this round 4? So we had 2 picks in the 4th, right? So we got a receiver. Oh, team needs.
We
Team
got an
needs receiver.
edge. We got an offensive tackle.
DT, offensive tackle, wide receiver, edge. I think we start looking at running backs and safeties.
Yeah, which
Linebackers.
we haven't really been looking at safeties much. Roman Hemby, another
You guys
Indiana
supposed to go
guy.
later in the draft. Let's go. Let's see safeties. Hey, Taff. Oh no, he's
Oh,
supposed to go a little
yeah.
later.
Yeah, but he is there.
He's there
We could
though.
probably take him
But
next.
yeah, because we got a pick right after.
We could get him like 138. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll hold off on safety and see if Taff will be there
Okay.
after this pick. Let's go
Yeah, I
corners.
might just take him there.
Devin Martin,
TJ.
5'10", 197. See, I want a bigger corner than 5'10", though. I think that's what the Niners need.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of these guys don't even have a bio from out.
Yeah, I mean, because some of them.
His floor is also frustratingly low for a player with his experience. 5-star recruit out of California. After an up and down sophomore year, severe lack of discipline and situation. Yeah, okay, that already sounds bad. Let's go linebacker. Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. Okay, 6 foot. Smaller guy, though, 220.
Yeah, but I feel like Niners kind of go for that.
Racked up 101 tackles, 15 and a half tackle for losses, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions.
God damn.
Oh, snap.
So I don't know what conference Pittsburgh's in, to be honest.
That's true. All ACC recognition and a Senior Bowl invite. He got invited to the Senior Bowl. thriving in both coverage on one-on-one and team drills. At around 6 foot with 32-inch arms, he fits an incredibly unique player mold that blends the line between a line. Yeah, so he's linebacker and defensive back. So he's probably kind of like a Jair Brown, where he fits that big nickel, hybrid big nickel comp right there. Hey, you know what? Let's do it. I liked
All right.
the sound of 8.5 tackle for loss, sacks, 2
Okay.
interceptions.
Alrighty, let's put that in then.
Kyle Lewis. Now we got 2 picks left.
Let me look at the safeties.
If Taff is there. Taff is still there.
Yeah, let's just go with him.
Want to go Taff? All right. This is your firework again. Mid-round gem. So
6'10",
gem for us. There's his regular defensive contributor, 78 tackles, 5.5 tackles for losses, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 10 PBUs. Raw production,
like that PBU.
but he registered a strong PFSN safety impact rate of 85. Okay, I like it. So we want to go Taff there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
you got the last pick.
171. We got an edge, receiver, offensive tackle, DT, linebacker, safety. Do we go running back now or cornerback?
Let's look at running backs.
First.
Or like go another receiver even.
Or yeah, honestly, even another receiver. UTSA was that? I don't even know what UTSA is. That Utah State?
That's the school Burford, I think, went to. It's like,
oh, really? Small school.
I think it's Texas. Yeah.
Interesting.
So tiny, 5'9". No, thank you.
Yeah, he's short, undersized, but as a mover, springy, explosive. Let's look at the receivers.
Cyrus Lewis Bond, Boston College, Georgia Tech.
Another 5'11". I just don't want. I want a 6 foot and above receiver. That's the thing. All these guys are short.
Yeah, I think now these guys now will be short.
Yeah, all these guys suck.
Tight end?
Maybe tight end. Josh Cuevas from Alabama, 6'3", 245. Okay, already a little bit intriguing by his metrics.
58 catches, 6
touchdowns.
To Washington at 22. Running up,
receiver, but is he good at blocking? Cuevas stands out as a well-rounded utility tight end whose value has always first come from his usage, versatility, and blocking. Despite having a short-armed frame, he's an explosive attacker with good compact mass, elite natural leverage, eye-catching power, and engagement. He likely doesn't quite have the flexibility, speed, or length to be premier tight end 1, but he's a quality tight end 2 on day 1 and could see stretches as a confident starter.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe tight end.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking running back. We'll go back to we didn't get a cornerback, did we? Maybe we'll look at cornerbacks. I think they'll probably be on the smaller side also.
What the heck is Stephen F. Austin?
I didn't even, how's that even a college? Maybe I'll go because he was a guy that the Niners met with from Georgia. 6'1", 196. Early round aspirations after joining the Bulldogs as a 5-star recruit.
Damn, maybe disrespecting Price Luck.
Yeah. He can position himself to wall off opponents and contend for targets. He flourished as a playmaker and turnover generator with 3 INTs in 2024. Still needs to iron out inconsistencies, reducing overtop comeback routes, and getting off blocks in the run game. For zone-heavy NFL schemes, he's a worthy early-round contender. There's work left to be done. We know, obviously, the 49ers love to run zone. That might be – so I think maybe I'll go either Everett or maybe that tight end. I don't know. What do you think the Niners need more, tight end or cornerback?
Probably tight end.
Yeah, I think because if we don't trade Renardo Green, which I heard there's rumors we might, I think they're still pretty set at cornerback, honestly.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go this Cuevas kid. He's supposed to go 176. So
yeah,
do that. All right.
Man,
well,
I wish we had more picks.
Wow. I know. 7 picks overall. All right.
Jeez, dude.
So this is our official mock draft for the 49ers. Oh, here it is. Here.
Yep.
So we got an edge, a receiver, offensive tackle, DT, a linebacker, a safety, and a tight end. So we're going one for each position. Definitely think the
Yep.
Niners honestly will trade for more draft picks. I think they definitely need it. If you get like 9
Yeah.
draft picks and you hit on
Yeah.
at least 6 or 7 of them, I think you'll be looking pretty for this season. I didn't mean to say that as a joke.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Captain Niner said, "I want running back because of my dislike for Isaac Guerrero."
Friendo. That
Yep, I know you were talking about him earlier. Like he has the speed, but it's just he's
guy
sort of cut the holes and
and he's injury prone now, and he had one. I think he had 1 fumble, but 1 or 2.
yeah.
And that was enough for him to eventually become a healthy scratch. It was pretty the
No,
downfall
because
I
we were
saw
also
was
saying like he didn't really do much on special teams either. So
yeah, he wasn't much of a contributor there. But all right. I kinda like the draft. We got 3 guys I think that the Niners have potentially been linked to. I know Zion
Yeah.
Young was mocked to the
yeah, so
Niners
once we
before.
kind of get the start getting top 30 visits and stuff, we can
Yeah,
definitely
I like it.
yeah.
All right. Well, I got all my topics out of the way. You got all your things you wanna talk about?
Yeah, yep.
All right. I
There's
think we'll
nothing
call
else.
it a night. Saturday, which is tomorrow, I think the wide receivers are running,
Mhm.
are participating in everything in the combine, and then Sunday, I believe it's offensive linemen and um, another position group, excuse me. So make sure you guys keep a lookout there. Thank you guys all for joining. Appreciate you, Captain Niner. Make sure
Yeah,
you guys, as always, go follow 49er Media on all of his social media platforms. You guys know
appreciate
where to
that.
find
Like verse.
like Verse. Go subscribe to him, and then obviously First and 49ers on all my platforms. Appreciate you guys for joining. Sorry for not being able to speak sometimes, getting tongue twisted. But
Hey,
that's
as long as you don't call Raheem Morris or Raheem Mostert, we're all good.
who called him Raheem Mostert. Did you?
Jason, no,
Oh,
Jason.
Jason.
When we hired Raheem Mostert or Raheem Morris, see now I did it.
Now you're doing it.
When
Thanks, Captain
we
Niner.
got when we got Raheem Morris, we went live, and then he kept calling him Mostert. I'm
Oh
just
no,
kidding with you, Jason. But
that's funny.
anyways.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks again for joining. We'll have another show hopefully up this following week. I'll probably be on 49er Media's platform. Stay tuned for all updates on all of our
Yeah.
social medias. Any more 49ers news, we're going to have it. Keep an eye out for the Trent Williams news coming up soon. And that's going to do it for us. Have a good night, guys. Go Niners and stay faithful, baby.
Peace.
Touchdown!
San
Francisco!
Francisco.